Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, Warrior Revolution, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
You guys, June has been the craziest month of my entire life to date. It started with the conference, our second annual ConCon, which stands for Confidence Conference, that we held here in Eugene. And Amy Boone Thompson, the CEO of Idea World, was our keynote. And it was fantastic. It was just absolutely incredible. And I'm actually still, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm still banned from the Facebook platform. If you follow me on Instagram, I am still sharing the event. Like I started, I think, by sharing the pre-con activities. Then I think the second share was like a general conference recap of a little snippet, like 2 seconds of each, like lots of things. And then did a reel for each and every single one of our workouts. And then last night, I think I posted, it was actually this morning, I posted the awards ceremony because we have some new awards in our organization that are really exciting, actually very much modeled after Idea or inspired by the way Idea does their awards. And so I'm still doing, I did the recovery, the rolling. We had a pajama party. We had a pajama party at my studio called Rollin' in Robes, and we did some foam rolling to work on our fascia after the hike and the pre-con stuff. So that was fun. I did a reel on that, but I still have so much more to share. So, plus we have, of course, our professional videographer comes to our events. And I've asked her actually not to deliver that video to me until September. So we won't have that one for a while. And there's a strategy behind that. It has to do with enrollment for next year. It's because like right now we still are in the like post con like endorphin rush, the bubble of love, and we're all excited about next year, but that'll eventually like sort of wax and wane. And then I want to hit him with the professional video, like get your early bird ticket. See how my marketing mind works? I'm already thinking ahead months. Okay. So anyway, okay, so it started with the very beginning of June, we had the confidence conference that I can't even explain to you. I cannot explain the amount of time and energy, passion, resources that go into that. I'm surprised I'm not curled up in a hole somewhere right now. I don't have an event coordinator. It's really all me. I do have help. I had some wonderful volunteer help, my front row divas. I've talked about them in the past on the show. Shout out to Anita and Lisa and Debbie and Janice. They stepped up and they were the volunteers, they were the crew. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without them. Could not have done it without them. And then I had my administrative assistant, Bess, who sort of, I could keep looking to her for like, what do I do next? What comes next? Do I have time to change my sweaty sports bra? So, am I recording? Did I hit record? Yes. Yes. Wait, hold, please. Yes, I'm recording. Okay. Phew. So, okay, that's how the month started. Then after our confidence conference, my literally the next week, my daughter graduated the University of Oregon. P.S. Her GPA is higher than 4.0. Ask me how that's possible. How do you get a better than perfect GPA? You do every extra credit you possibly can. That's her work ethic. So I'm so proud of her, and it touched my heart more than I can even explain, that she wanted to have her party at my house. in my backyard and at my house. So that was a major undertaking for me because you guys probably don't know this about me, but I'm like weird about I don't really like to open my home up to people. I feel very private about a lot of things in my life. And um I feel very funny about like I don't want people to come over. I don't like when people come over. So I'm just very, very, very private. And so I was so honored and so happy that she was proud of our house and wanted to have her party here, but it just meant that we needed to do a lot of work. So, and I wanted to do such a good job for her. So, we had to like get new bark dust and I have cleaning ladies that come every other um week. I had them come for extra time to like really get the house clean and I had to like reach out to like I had to rent tables and chairs and tablecloths and I had to get a caterer because Lord knows I don't want to cook for 40 people. I had to get like an app on my phone where you can like text people the invite and then I had to like make a spreadsheet and figure out who all of her friends and all their families and everyone who wanted to be invited and this is TMI, this is borderline confession. Their dad, who's my ex-husband, and his entire family was coming. And you guys, this has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about today. I'm like on a huge tangent, but I'm already cul-de-sacking with you. But we don't, he's not comfortable around me. So and we haven't been together for nearly 20 years. Um, 22 years. Yeah, we split up in 2004. We haven't not been together for 22 years and it's still awkward. So I knew this was really important for my kids that their family, his family, could be as comfortable as possible around me and in my home. And so it was awesome. Like I feel like we made major strides and I'm so happy because I want I want it to be like I want it to be comfortable and I want the kids to feel comfortable around both of us. So, and each other's family. Oh, and my mom came from Chicago. Oh my gosh. And like that's that's a lot. Like it was a lot. This is right after the conference. So, and I'm like still trying to I'm like I just opened a studio. I just opened the studio. It hasn't even been open for 4 months. So then the next weekend, oh my gosh. Okay. Then so I'm back on the main road talking about June. Then We Jim reached out to me wanting to know if I would do an event for Pride on June 20th, which is a Saturday. And I do teach already on Saturdays. So I was like, yes. And I said yes because We Gym is kind of a big up and coming company. They, I have, I bought their equipment for the studio because it's kind of stunning and beautiful and unique and very aesthetically pleasing and very unlike any type of traditional gym equipment in terms of dumbbells and kettlebells that you can find. Like they definitely stand out and I want to stand out. They're definitely different and I want to be different. So I felt like part of like who I am as a brand and who we are as a company, actually the equipment we ordered really mattered to me. So I wanted unusual equipment and I wanted high-end equipment. And so I went with WeGym. So anyway, when they asked me to do this event, because they're a pretty major brand, I was like, I need to say yes. And believe me, I preach it to you guys often. Like, I really think we need to hone the craft of saying no, especially when we're exhausted and running on fumes and want to curl up into a ball. But I just felt like in terms of brand alignment and then Lululemon, our local store is so forever supportive of everything I do. They really wanted to get behind that Pride event too. So long story short, I agreed to do this Pride class and then I invited a guest instructor to come in to teach. So it wasn't just me, and I don't mean like just me like I'm not special, but like I already teach that same class every Saturday. So I thought we should offer something unique and different and bring in a guest instructor, which I did. His name is Nate Boozer. If you didn't hear the episode, I've had him on the show as a guest. Um, it was phenomenal, and that was probably a couple of years ago, that episode. Nate Boozer, um, beautiful episode that he did on the show. One of my like one that stands out to me. Like some episodes, there's, 20 or so that really like stand out to me in my mind, and his was one of them. So if you want to take a deep scroll, if I had my life together, I would just like link it and I would already know what episode it was, but I don't have my life together. So you have to do the research. Sorry if you want to hear that episode. But he did this dance class after my rhythm class. And I like had to quickly shift into promoting that so that people would come because Jim was coming. Jim flew two people out. I couldn't like not show up and bring it. Like they flew two people to Eugene, Oregon. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the pressure is on. I gotta bring it. So I went so right from the con immediately into this hosting 40 people at my house, including my mother and stepdad from Chicago, into immediately into this Pride event. And then I have instructor trainings this weekend. I'm not even done. We're still in June. I have instructor trainings this weekend at the studio. And because someone is just basically like, long story, someone from Canada had reached out to me saying that they really wanted to. Anyway, I booked these like before I knew that June would be like absolutely insane. So I had booked them for someone coming from Canada. Like I can't back out of that. And then the Fifth Street Market, which is like where the studio is and the like kind of like little bougie spot that our studio is with Nike and stuff. Um, they're like, hey, we're doing a wellness weekend. Would you like to be part of it? Hello, of course I would. I need to. Like, we just put a studio in the Fifth Street Market. The answer is yes. But oh my gosh. So it was supposed to be this outdoor event tomorrow. But it's thunderstorming tomorrow. So it could be indoors. Anyway, all that to say, you guys, I can't with June. I can't. I'm gonna like as soon as June is over, actually, as soon as this weekend is over, um, no matter where you live in the world and are listening to this podcast, you're probably gonna hear me exhale. Just thinking about it gives me like overwhelming sense of joy and peace. I don't know what I was thinking, but I will never, ever, ever, ever commit to so many things in 1 month. But I mean, what could go? Like, I mean, none of it was really stuff I could have said no to. But get ready for an onslaught of me saying no to things because I need to recharge my battery. As you can tell, I'm yawning. All right, tonight I'm going to talk to you. I think this might be a two-parter because one of the sessions I led at the Con was about cueing with texture and contrast. And we really started those sessions with like, what is texture? What does it add? Why do people like it? Why does it matter? How do people feel about texture? And what is contrast? And how do people feel about contrast? And what does contrast do? And how those things play together because they're not the same thing, texture and contrast. And how can we apply them to teaching and cueing, specifically cueing, the art of cueing? And I thought it was one of the best sessions I've ever delivered. So I kind of wanted to take some of that, not all of it, because it was special for our conference goers, but I kind of wanted to like take, some major takeaways from that session and give them to you. But before I do, so I think that will be the part two. But I wanted to bring it up now because, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That was from June. June made me yawn. June has made me tired. But I got an Aura ring, see? And it actually says that my sleep every night is good, not optimal, which is where I want it. but good. So I'm getting good sleep. I want to be getting optimal sleep, but at least I'm rested. Okay. That's way too much about me, not enough about you. So let's go back to the point today. So I wanted to talk about, okay, so I think I'm going to title this session. Wait, what's this called? Podcast. I think I'm going to title it something like, Are You the Problem? I mean, is your personality the problem? Is your personality the problem? Which is like such a harsh topic. I don't, uh, I don't decide on what I'm going to call the topic, like what I'm going to call the episode until the podcast is done. That's when I figure out, like, what do I want to call it? What did I say? Or what did the guest say? So what I think I'm going to call this is it you? Is it like is your personality the problem? Because sometimes people don't come to a class because the instructor's personality is really bland or subdued. And just over the years of being an admin with group fitness, sometimes people have said over the years, like, that it's her personality or his personality or their personality. Uh, and I used to say, and I used to think and believe, well, that's not fixable. Like I can teach someone how to hit the top of the phrase with their movement or how to finish their lines or how to cue at the right time or how to have better form or how to make a professional class introduction or I can teach all these like tricks, but if it's just their personality, if they're boring or quiet or subdued or understated, like if it's their or they're angry or whatever it is, if it's their personality, I can't help that. I can't fix them. I can't fix a bad personality. Okay, so that's what I used to think. And I don't think that today. I mean, not that I can fix anyone's personality. No, that's not what I meant. I mean that I think if you are, or you know someone, you have a colleague who their personality just isn't like super bright and shiny or loud or vivacious or, um, they don't have that like star quality about them, that flamboyance. First of all, they might be outstanding at so many other things. So that's only like one part of it, but it is an important part and it is a deterrent for people to want to attend if they don't have that flamboyance. So again, I used to be like, well, I can't help them. There's nothing I can do. Like it's just the way they are. They're just kind of like humdrum. I don't think that anymore. At least not strongly. I now believe that you can, just like we just like if you're introverted, how you can like suddenly you're the extrovert for that 1 hour you're teaching, and then you're back to an introvert and you're in your car, like listening to classical music, sulking, crying because you just peopled your brains out and your battery's gone. That's like, I feel like so many group fitness instructors can relate to that. I feel like that is so many of us. Um, but like just like we can flip a switch and become someone like extroverted, it is actually the same thing. So if your personality or someone that you work with or someone that you care about or one of your colleagues, or again, maybe it's you, if like if it's your personality, I think you can work on it. And this is why I think this will feather into a conversation about texture and contrast and cueing, because those tools I will give you when we talk about that are going to directly apply to how you can level up in this area. But basically, if you can try to exercise a little more self-awareness, if this is even you, okay, so you might be listening likely you're listening and you're like, well, that's not me. I'm the life of the party. Like when I walk in the room, glitter flies out of my hair. You might be thinking. But so this isn't necessarily to you specifically, but if someone is think self-aware and realizing that they maybe don't bring a lot of energy like that to their classroom, I think one, just deliberately deciding that you are going to change the inflection of your voice from low to high more times when you teach. You have to record yourself. You must. I know that's been covered before on here, but you must. I will tell you so honestly that I fancy myself someone with a lot of vocal inflection and intonation, but sometimes I am utterly aghast when I hear a little clip that, like someone will get a video of me teaching and they'll tag me and I'm like, I thought my voice was like all over the place. But nope, I was totally monotone. So, deliberately deciding that you're going to go from high to low volume and from high to low vocal registry, deep to higher pitched and soft to loud, making sure that you're hitting those and combinations thereof in each song or each section, or depending on whatever format you teach, however your class is like naturally sort of broken up. Ours are kind of like often by song or by exercise block. So making sure like in each whatever song, section, exercise block, you're hitting you're practicing hitting that, and that it is congruent with the music. So you're not like whispering while the music is like high energy or vice versa. And just like getting out of your spot like adds a lot of like what's happening, like that little jolt of kind of like dopamine that students feel when their instructor like pays attention to them specifically and looks at them or walks by them, or uh, all of the above, walks by them, looks at them, is paying attention to them. That adds like a little like, you know, that adds a little like excitement to them. It's not boring if they're excited, and it's exciting to have the instructor pay attention to them or walk by them. And anyway, so just like moving about the room, focusing on the vocal inflection, playing with your vocabulary, and I'll talk more about this next episode, which hopefully will be in July. Hopefully, because June I couldn't even breathe. So hopefully the sequel to this I'm gonna give you this like insane word list that I came up with that I want you to practice um, using these triggers to inspire unique cueing, like tickle the ears, say something different instead of, now squat 8 squats. Like, how can you say that in story form? How can you say that with emotion? How can you say that rhythmically? How can you know, cue that with power? How can you cue that with softness? So we'll go over all of those things. And that's it. So my challenge this week is simply to do some self-assessment of yourself, because I think when we do that, I know that when I look at myself, listen to myself, and watch myself teach, I always see room for improvement. And it's no lie. I always see room to grow. And then I do grow, but it's because I'm doing that. Like I'm assessing. I'm critical, not in a critical way, but I'm critical in an awareness way of things I do when I'm teaching that are good and came across great, and things that I do while I'm teaching that aren't, and that maybe didn't come across so great or came across flat, or, you know, I said something the other week that I thought came across as like egotistical, and I was like, ugh. I wanted to throw up on the way home, because of something that came out of my mouth. But so anyway, um, yeah, self-awareness. Is personality the problem? And if so, how can you work on it? I'll give you some practical, applicable techniques that have to do with texture and contrast the next time I podcast, which will hopefully be in July. Do I have a confession for you tonight? I'm sure I do. I am sure I do. How about this? I, in terms of pet peeves, I don't mind if someone comes late to my class. It doesn't bother me one little hill of beans. The truth is, I'm really excited if someone walks in the room. Even if they're 10 minutes late, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I'm happy to see them. I'm happy they made it. And I have a lot of grace and compassion about why someone might come late. Maybe they got stuck behind a train. Maybe they had to change a dirty diaper on the way out the door. Who knows what? Um, so it honestly doesn't bother me one little bit if someone's late, but it does bother me. It bothers me if people start adding moves to the moves. Like, or adding, like, don't add people. You know what I mean? And I'm bringing it up, I guess, because just with the new studio, I have some new people that aren't used to me, that aren't used to the way I crack the whip on things like this. So I've been cracking the whip. Like, no, nope, nope. Don't bring your ankle weights and wrist weights to warrior combat. Just do the kicks and punches right. Don't add resistance. Like, just do them right. Don't add, don't add to the move. If the move is, you know, whatever. Don't if it's a sit up, don't grab a dumbbell and add a dumbbell to the sit up. Just respect your instructor, respect their programming, respect that they know. Like, sometimes people will add stuff and I'm like, you don't know what's still coming. Like, I'm gonna get your arms. I'm gonna get them. Like, chill. We're working your legs right now. You don't have to add an overhead press. So it's low key disrespectful if you're listening and you're just a student listening to this show. It's low key some disrespect if you're just like wildly adding your own moves. I kind of hate it. And I do address it. I tell people, please don't. Now, if someone wants to modify because of an injury or a limitation, hell to the yes. I love that. I love that. I love that. So there's a difference between changing a move to make it more accessible for you compare as opposed to adding some bullshit to the move just to be impressive or to try to make it harder. And it's like, honestly, every time someone does that anyway, their form is bad. It's like, just do the move right. Okay, that was wait, was that a confession or was that just me complaining? I feel like that was a confession. I've been having to deal with it lately, so that's my confession. Um, love you all. I made it through uh the month of June, and July 1st the studio will be 4 months old. So yay, happy like little tiny anniversary to us. Thank you for listening to the show. Please rate it, please share it. Feel free to give me suggestions on things you want to hear about, learn about, guests that you might want to have and hear from and learn from. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. This is episode 100. Let's go.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a warrior instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.